Ooh, man, I've been excited to talk about this one. Diego Pavia brings his Vanderbilt Commodores into Knoxville, Tennessee, not with just pride on the line, not just with a rivalry on the line, but with college football playoff chances on the line. I mean, this is a rivalry in the SEC that it doesn't really get as much national attention as, say, the Iron Bowl or the Egg Bowl or the Lone Star Showdown or the Red River rivalry or any of those type of games. It's more of a slept-on rivalry. But these two teams don't like each other, and they're playing with the most stakes on the line that I've seen in this game ever, at least in my lifetime. So that being said, let's define it. What's at stake for Vanderbilt? Well, I'll tell you what's at stake. With a win, they win 10 games in a single season for the first time ever in the history of their program. Vanderbilt has never won 10 games, and they could win it on the road at Knoxville and achieve that with their first 10-win season ever. I think that'd be a great story. Diego Pavia doing it. It would just be fantastic. And if they win this game, they make a compelling case for a playoff bid. I think they might need a little help. They might need Texas to lose, Michigan to lose, maybe BYU or Utah to lose, maybe Miami to lose, just to get a little bit of a push, just one of those or two of those things happening. But I think personally, if Vanderbilt wins this game, I really believe they should be in the playoffs because they've gotten some big wins this year, and this would be their biggest one yet against a really good Tennessee team who has kind of just gotten unlucky this year, in my opinion. But I mean, I think Tennessee kind of should have beaten Georgia. They should have beaten Oklahoma. And what was the other game they lost to? Alabama. They outgained Alabama in total yards. So I'm just saying that out of their three teams that they lost to, Tennessee had more yards than all three of them. This is a really good Tennessee team. And if Vanderbilt finds a way to beat them, that's huge, huge points for me and my system on Vanderbilt. So I'm just saying that. They've also had a 6-year losing streak to Tennessee, and if they win this game, they will end that as well. So with a loss, Vanderbilt loses pretty much all of that. Their 9-3 season would still be great, but it's not really quite 10 wins. You know, there's something so much better about winning 10 wins in a season. They've also never done it in program history, and they could win their bowl game and still achieve that, but it still leaves it up to chance. They're also entirely eliminated from playoff conversation, which is a bummer. I mean, when a team like Alabama or Ohio State or Oklahoma or Michigan or Texas gets eliminated from the playoffs, they just shrug it off and they say, that's really unfortunate, but we'll be right back in it next year. We're going to have a great team. We're going to reload. We're going to be there. That's not always the case for smaller teams like this. That's not the case for Vanderbilt. If they lose this game, this could be their best shot to make the playoffs in like the next 20 years. So they really, really need to capitalize on this one. And if they lose, they're completely out. And the Tennessee woes continue. They would have lost 7 in a row against the Vols. So that's also a little disappointing. And let's see what's at stake for Rocky Top, for Tennessee. Tennessee has not won 10 wins in back-to-back seasons. Or let me rephrase that. Tennessee has not won 10 games back-to-back years since 2003 and 2004. And if they win this, they will go 9-3 in the regular season, and they will have a bowl game with an opportunity to win a 10th. They would also knock Vandy out of the playoffs. And like I said earlier, Vandy and Tennessee do not like each other. So Tennessee would love to knock Vanderbilt out of the playoffs on their home turf. This would also extend their 6-year winning streak versus Vanderbilt to 7 years, which would be great for Tennessee fans. They would love that. And if they lose this game, I mean, like I said earlier, they've gotten kind of unlucky this year, but they've gotten unlucky against the biggest games of their season. And if they lose to Vanderbilt, Georgia, Alabama, and Oklahoma, they kind of lost all their big games this year. So it would just be a really unfortunate season for Tennessee. I mean, 8-4 is not up to Josh Heupel's standards, and they would regroup. I mean, I still believe in Josh Heupel. I think he's a fantastic coach, but it's just not what they want. And they will have given Vanderbilt their signature win, and given them sort of a pedestal to maybe leap into the playoffs. And Vandy would also break the 6-year hiatus of no wins over Tennessee. So Tennessee's got a lot on the line as well. So with that being said, let's look at this Vanderbilt offense, which has been absolutely mind-bogglingly insane the last few weeks. And Diego Pavia is one of the definite reasons for that. I mean, just look at his last 3 games. It's been nuts. Just look at those stats. I have it on the right. Diego Pavia against Texas, 365 yards and 3 touchdowns. Against Auburn, 377 yards and 3 touchdowns. Against Kentucky, 33 of 39 for 484 yards and 5 touchdowns. My goodness, Diego Pavia, you, sir, are on a tear. With that burst, that gives Vanderbilt the 5th best offense in the SEC statistically, which I didn't expect going in this year, but it's been there. 4th in passing yards per game, 8th in rushing yards per game. I think Vanderbilt is at their best At least they were early in the year when they didn't rely on Diego Pavia to throw for 300 plus yards, and they ran the ball well and they had consistency with that. But the last 3 weeks have kind of blown that out of the water. Honestly, give the ball to Diego Pavia and let him make plays. But he's also not the only one making plays. MK Young, their backup running back, is averaging 9.5 yards per carry. He's been so explosive this year. It's crazy. Eli Stowers could be the best tight end in the SEC. He's phenomenal. 705 yards this year. I think that leads all tight ends in the Southeastern Conference. Also has 4 touchdowns. He can high point balls like crazy. He's an amazing safety blanket on third downs, and he makes plays in the red zone. Eli Stowers is a dog. And then Trey Richardson has also been so explosive the last couple games. He's averaging like 35 yards per catch against Auburn and Kentucky. And just have his stats right there because they're nuts. 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games. He's been otherworldly. So Vanderbilt's got the talent on offense. They've only allowed 18 sacks this year. Their offense has played well. They're fifth in the nation in third down percentage, and they've only turned the ball over 10 times this year. This offense is dynamic. They're going to be going against a Tennessee defense that has really not been dynamic this year. Going into the year, everyone thought that their strength was going to be their 2 corners, Gibson and McCoy, and they have both been out like the entire year. They're gone. They're not like on this team anymore. And their front seven's good. I mean, they have 35 sacks this year, which is fourth in the SEC, and that's really been spread out. They have 4 players with 4+ sacks, including Joshua Josephs, Dominic Bailey, Tyler West, and Caleb Herring. Now, to mention Jordan Ross, who's been phenomenal this year as well. But despite all that, Tennessee is still 14th in passing yards allowed per game, 11th in rushing yards allowed per game. They haven't been able to get stops. They've not been able to force turnovers very well, and they can't get off the field on third down. So this Tennessee defense, they play a lot of zone. They really rely on their front seven to make plays, and it works sometimes. They're just not very talented in the back end. They're young, they're beat up, they're injured, and I think Vanderbilt could definitely exploit this team down the field. Pavia's been going crazy, and this is not the best secondary. So that's definitely something to look out for. But Tennessee fans, you might have closed your eyes when I put your defensive stats on the board. You can open back up because this offense is phenomenal. Second in the total yards in the SEC, fourth in the nation. They've been flying up and down the field against pretty much everyone they've played. They've been throwing the ball like crazy, first in the SEC in passing yards per game. They've ran the ball for over 2,000 plus yards. Again, Josh Heupel does that like clockwork. Joey Aguilar has been a really unique and really fun player to watch this year. He's had 4 games with 2+ interceptions. So he doesn't really, take care of the ball the best in the SEC. But he also has 4 games with 300+ yards. And he has 3 with both. So he's had 3 games with 2+ interceptions and 300+ yards. Basically, Joey Aguilar isn't afraid of anything. He will throw into double coverage. He will step up and rip digs when they're even not open. And sometimes he looks like an insane gunslinger that just is bold and is brave and is courageous and has a cannon of an arm. And sometimes it makes him look like he doesn't really care about taking care of the football. So it's kind of hit or miss, but his receivers have been great this year. Chris Brazzell, Braylon Staley, and Mike Matthews all have over 700+ yards receiving. So this is a dynamic offense. They're really, really good passing attack. Their offensive line pass blocking has been crazy. They've only allowed 14 sacks this year, which is second in the SEC. David Sanders, their freshman tackle, has been phenomenal in my opinion. I think that guy is unreal, and he's going to have a great future in the world of football. And this Tennessee offense will score points. They are on fire right now, and they will move up and down the field against a Vanderbilt defense that is not their strong suit. Vanderbilt has not been able to stop the pass very much at all this year. They're 15th, which is second to last in the SEC. I think probably behind Arkansas in passing yards allowed per game. Not very good at all. Their secondary is not very talented, and Tennessee's passing attack could completely exploit that. They don't get to the quarterback that well. Only 26 sacks this year. They don't force turnovers. They don't get off the field on third down. So, I mean, there's a lot of linebackers like Langston Patterson and guys like that on this Vanderbilt offense that just give so much effort for their football team, but they're not a great tackling team. They're not elite in the back end and the secondary, and I think that could come back to bite them. So, I love this Vanderbilt team. I love Diego Pavia. I think he's awesome. I think his story has been phenomenal in college football. And I really hope he makes the playoffs. And I've been cheering for Vanderbilt to go 10-2 and make the playoffs after they lost to Texas. I think they really could with a win in this game. And I'm really going to be cheering for it. And how cool would it be if Diego Pavia ended his college football career with a playoff appearance following a win on Rocky Top to end the regular season and to end his SEC career? It would be awesome. I'm really going to be hoping for it. I'm going to be cheering for it. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be good on Rocky Top tomorrow at 3:30 local time. I think Tennessee is going to get the best of Vanderbilt. I think it's going to be a really entertaining game. I think it's going to be really high scoring, a lot of offense. I think Joey Aguilar's going to throw for a buttload of yards. His receivers just outmatch Vanderbilt's secondary a little too much for me. And I do think that Vanderbilt could turn the ball over a couple times because of Tennessee's elite front seven. I think they could impact the game with turnovers, with sacks, maybe with holding penalties. So I'm really passionate about that with Tennessee. And then with Vanderbilt, um, I think they can score a lot too. I mean, Pavia's been great. Their offense should go nuts also, and they shouldn't really have a lot of negative plays. But I don't know. I just think I trust Tennessee's offense more. I trust their defense and their front seven to make some plays, just a little bit more than Tennessee can make plays. And if Vanderbilt wants to win this game, they have to force at least one or two turnovers because I don't think they're going to be able to get off the field on third down. But I got Tennessee winning this game. Tennessee would go 9-3 in the season if they do so with Vanderbilt, and both teams would miss the playoffs. But both teams still would have had great years. I've just got Vanderbilt winning or losing this one, coming up just short on their playoff chances. But I am really going to be cheering for the Commodores in this game for sure. And with that, thanks so much for watching. Always make sure to keep Jesus first in your lives. If you put Jesus above all else, that is where you will find true happiness. If you take one thing away from this podcast, it is that. Um, and I pray that each and every one of you has patience, has great courage, and has great love and hope and faith this holiday season. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. God bless.